Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Layla and today I'm going to be going over my budget for August 2024. I will spare y'all me talking about how fast this year is moving because it's just every single month that I mention it at this point, but I think y'all are feeling it too. So we're already making our budget for August somehow. I do first want to go over the money goals that I have for the month. So first up would be an income goal, and that is to make at least $3,500 gross from my business. Now this is actually kind of a stretch for August. Every month that I go into, I'm not really sure what things are going to look like, but historically it's usually May through August where things are slower and I have a lower income. So for August, making over $3,500 would be a little bit tough to do, but I think it's definitely possible and I'm gonna aim for that. However, you'll see when I'm budgeting that that's not the number that I'm using as my business income. I'm gonna go a little bit lower than that just to be conservative with my numbers, but still gonna aim for $3,500 in gross income. Next goal is that I want to invest at least $150, and this is between my 401k, which we'll talk about, as well as my SEP IRA. So I'll talk more about both of those as I go through my numbers. And then my third goal is to save in my sinking funds. So lately I've been focusing on my emergency fund, my gift sinking fund, my car/car maintenance sinking fund, as well as car insurance sinking fund. Now in August, I will probably get some car maintenance work done on my car. So I will probably, if that's the case, I will not be saving money to that fund because I'll be pulling from it and there's no point of me adding to it as well. So you'll kind of see that reflected in my budget and I'll talk about that more when I get to those numbers. So now we can hop to my spreadsheets, but before we do that, I do want to give a thank you to Mint Mobile for partnering with me for this video. If you've been looking for a way to cut expenses or have been considering switching your phone plan in order to save money, definitely check out Mint Mobile because you can get premium wireless for as low as $15 per month. If you're looking for a phone plan that offers unlimited talk and text, high quality speed, data, coverage, mobile hotspot, access to 5G, you want to keep your same phone number, you want to keep your same phone, you can get all of that with Mint Mobile. It's also super easy to make the switch to Mint Mobile. Go ahead and visit mintmobile.com/debtoverit. I will also have that link down below in my description box. You will enter in a little bit of information about yourself. You can also determine from there if your phone is eSIM compatible. And if it is eSIM compatible, you can set things up right from the comfort of your home within a few minutes, all by yourself. If your phone is not eSIM compatible, do not worry. Mint Mobile will ship you a SIM card for free. You'll get that in a couple of days. And then same thing, you can set everything up right from the comfort of your home all by yourself. I've been using Mint Mobile for a couple of years now, and I am so grateful to be saving money on my phone plan while still getting the coverage that I need. And I have lived in various places throughout the state and also have visited other states and have had great service. So if you want to save some money without the sacrifice, visit mintmobile.com/debtoverit, which is also linked down below in my description box. And they still have a special offer going on where new customers can get any plan for $15 per month when they purchase a 3-month plan. This includes the unlimited plan, which is typically $30 per month. Thank you again to Mint Mobile for partnering with me for this video. And now let's go to my budget. All right, if this is the first video that you are watching of mine, something important to know is that I am self-employed, so I don't have a full-time job. However, I do have a W-2 income coming in because of my business. So I am an S-Corp, meaning that I am the employer, but also the employee of my business. So I still receive a paycheck, and that's how I kind of have my spreadsheet set up. By the way, you can get the spreadsheet for free. I always have those linked down below. I have a couple of different formats that you can choose from. I will explain everything as I go, but this top section is for the business side of things, and then below that is the actual paychecks that I receive and how I spend that money. So gross business revenue, I am budgeting or expecting at least $3,000 because I'm pretty positive I can make at least $3,000 gross. As I mentioned before, my goal is to make $3,500 because that would just be better, obviously. And then for rollover business revenue, this is just money that is left in my checking account from July. I think that's going to be about $500 this month. And then I won't be pulling anything from my sinking fund, so working with about $3,500 total. And then, of course, ideally this would be higher. Then we have my expenses on the business side. So first up would be payroll. So this is what I pay myself. That is $2,000. All right, so next up would be 401k match. So I'll talk about it. Let me first put that this is going to be $40 for August because I did open a 401k for my business. I will be putting money in as an employee. I'm going to be doing 5%, and then I'm going to match that as my company. Now, this is actually going to start during the second half of August. I opened this in July, but it's going to start at the second half of August, and that's just going to be one paycheck. Now, the reason that I ended up opening this, because I was going to wait to open a solo 401k for 2024 and just do it later, like do it next year. But because I work with, so my checking account is with Novo, my business checking account, and I think this was a special offer through them and through Gusto, or maybe it was just through Gusto, which is how I have payroll set up. I was able to get a 401k set up through Guideline for free for a whole year. And I had to open and set everything up by the end of July in order to take advantage of this. So I was like, hey, that's actually pretty good. I might as well go ahead and do that, because when you have a 401k plan, you have to pay for that as a business. So you have to, it's like a monthly fee to use Guideline, which is where I'm going to be holding my 401k. But I know, first of all, that I really like Guideline. Like in the future, I would have gone with Guideline. That's the company that my 401k is with currently, and they have a whole bunch of Vanguard funds to choose from, and I really like that platform, which is perfect because they'll also be able to just easily roll over those funds into this new 401k. But yeah, that's the reason why I opened it. I was not going to open this, but because I got this offer to have it for free, no fees for a full year, I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and do that, and then it's going to save me taxes. And plus I get to put more to my 401k, so that's kind of exciting. Now, I'm not exactly sure how that's going to affect my taxes on the business side or on the personal side, so that's actually what's up next. So payroll taxes, I'm still going to keep it just at what it's been at, which is about $160. This might be a little bit lower just because I'm now contributing to this, but I honestly have no clue. Okay, moving on to distribution. So this is where I just transfer money out of my business checking account and put that to my personal checking account, and I can use those funds as needed. I am budgeting $1,000. If I make more money, I would increase this to about $1,500. And then actual business expenses, I'm expecting about $100 for August, less than that. And then final thing here would be insurance, and this is for medical insurance as well as dental, and that's a total of $99.28. If you're curious about health insurance as a self-employed individual, I made a video on this recently. I will have that linked down below. So that's it on the business side. So let's scroll down to me as the employee. So my paycheck's gonna be $2,000 gross. Distribution should be $1,000 unless I increase my income. I didn't put anything for extra income, but there's always extra income from like credit cards and stuff. And then from sinking funds, I did put a number here. That is $800. I will talk about where that comes in. So working with about $3,800 minimum. First expense would be taxes. So I am budgeting about $460 here. This is actual payroll taxes as well as money that I set aside to make my quarterly estimated payments. That's been pretty small lately because I feel like just with everything with my business, the expenses, the way that I've set everything up, I don't need to put as much to the tax savings, but yeah. And then these two teal sections are for investing. So first up is that 401k. Like I said, I am doing 5%, but that's just going to be for one paycheck in August. So that should be $50. And then I am also contributing to my SEP IRA, or I'm planning to, and I would like to. So like I said, my goal is to invest at least $150. So I'm going to put hopefully $100 to my SEP IRA. These next four blue cells are my sinking funds. So first up is my emergency fund. I do want to put $100 to that. Next is gift sinking fund, $75. Car/car maintenance sinking fund for August, I'm putting this at $0 because, as I said, I think I'll get some car maintenance done and that will show up further down. So we'll talk about that. And then last one here is car insurance, and that is $125 budgeted for that. Next is donate. I still want to donate at least $100. Purple section is for housing expenses. So first is just the house/utilities. August, it jumped up a little bit because our electricity bill is pretty high because of all of the air conditioning, because it's very hot here. So $1,166.50. This covers my portion of the mortgage as well as 50% of our utilities, which like includes Wi-Fi, HOA, electric, gas, water, and our alarm system. A little bit higher for the month, but should be okay. And then actual household, I'm budgeting $50. So this would be things like small home decor or cleaning supplies, toilet paper, so on and so forth. The two orange cells are for food. First thing here would be groceries, and I am increasing this to $400 for the month because my boyfriend and I are traveling for a week in Jackson Hole. So I'm pretty sure we will definitely pick up groceries, but I'm assuming that we'll probably spend a little bit more because of that. So I'm hoping to stay actually under $350 like I have been. But if it's, I just want to make room for that in case, because I'm aware that we're traveling. So usually we do end up spending more on food out and groceries. So food out is actually next. And that one I'm also increasing to $100 because of the travel. But ideally, I would still keep this pretty low. Next is gas for my car, as well as for our rental car, I think. Is that going to be enough? I think it'll be fine. I'm going to put this at 75 because usually for myself, I get gas twice. I don't know who's going to pay for gas. Like we might split up paying for the gas while we travel, or my boyfriend could cover everything. I don't know. If I go over budget here, that's fine. But if I am purchasing gas while we're traveling, that's still going to go under this little line item. Next is health and beauty, and I'm budgeting $300. I think this might be a little bit too high for August, but I'm not sure. I have to see about this. Definitely going to be at least like $150, but lately I've been spending more in this category. So yeah, I think $300 should be okay. Next is dogs plus the cat that I've mentioned in a few videos now. So he is just a neighborhood cat, and he actually does have an owner. Like he has a microchip, and I called the company and like I'm hoping to have the owners call me back, but I think they just don't care. Like I'm pretty sure he just lives in the neighborhood, and I know other people are feeding him, but he sits outside my house now and waits for breakfast and dinner. So I feed him, so I still buy food for him. And he's really going to cost me like $5 to $10 per month at this point, which is fine. So this is going to bump up to a total of $190. So $180 for the dogs, $10 for the cat if I do buy anything. Okay, next is Netflix. That's $23.48. Gym is $39.99. Personal spending, I am bumping down to $50. Next up would be gifts, and I'm budgeting $75. It's my boyfriend's dad's birthday in August, and he's helped us out a ton with the house, so I'm thinking I'll probably buy him something. I'm not 100% sure yet on this, but I'm pretty sure, and I would probably spend about $75 on him. So if I do spend on gifts, I may not save to my gift sinking fund, or I'll just like replenish it, but I'm not sure. Lately, I've been cash flowing all my gifts, so I've just been letting the gift sinking fund build up, but if I need to use it, I'll use it. And then final thing on here is actual car maintenance spending, and I'm budgeting $800. This might be more, might be less. I do know that I need to get an oil change in August, and then I also need new tires, and I will probably get all 4 of them replaced. The last time I had my tires changed was about 5 years ago when I got the car, I think, which was in 2018. It's actually been 6 years, I think, and I think you're supposed to change them every 5 years. My tires are okay, like they look okay, but I think it's time to just get them replaced. Obviously, just want to be safe when I'm driving anyway, and I have the money for it in my car maintenance sinking fund. I have over $4,000 there, so I think it's time to just go ahead and do that when I get my oil change. I'm not too sure how much that will cost. I also know that there's usually like rebates when you buy tires, so I'm still going to be looking into that. But I'm just going to budget $800 and see what it actually is. So as I showed before, I am expecting to pull at least $800 from my sinking fund. So that's going to come from my car maintenance sinking fund to cover whatever needs to be covered. Altogether, I'll be spending about $4,280. And you can see that if you subtract all of my expenses from my income on the employee side, I am in the negatives. That's definitely not ideal and not something I typically would suggest doing with your budget. But I know that because I'll be making money from extra income as well, like my credit card, cash back, from other sources like apps that I use, referrals sometimes that I get, and also because I may have more income coming in and I can take a larger distribution, I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to cover everything. But no matter what, I'll be able to cover everything. As I always say, like the way that money is spent throughout the month, it always ends up working out, you know? So it doesn't look great, but I promise it will be fine, and I will obviously show y'all at the end of August and see what everything ended up being for real. That's what August is looking like. As I mentioned, we are traveling, but all of that has already been paid for. So we've paid for the Airbnb, the flights, already covered the car rental. So still just will need to pay for food as well as gas, like I was talking about. But everything else is covered, and I'm really excited because we haven't taken like a proper trip this year. I flew for work, so traveled a little bit for work while I was employed. And yeah, just haven't done any traveling since last year. So I am very excited to go to the airport and have an actual trip. Let me know if y'all have any recommendations for Wyoming, Jackson Hole specifically. We'll actually be staying in Idaho, but then like driving each day to Jackson Hole. It's very expensive and hard to find Airbnbs in Jackson Hole, so we're staying in Idaho. Also, if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, I do have spots available. I also have a free option if you're interested in that, if you are okay with being on YouTube and on a podcast that's actually coming in August. So I'm very excited for it, and I do want more people to sign up for that. It will be free to you in exchange for you showing your face and your numbers and stuff. But I'm really excited for this series. So if you're interested, or if you know somebody who is interested, please send them my way and fill out an application. But of course, I still have the paid option if you want a more private session. I've also been posting really frequently on my LinkedIn as well as on TikToks. So if you have either of those, I would really appreciate a follow, and any likes would be helpful. But otherwise, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one.